Do you think copywriters are like sleazy sales car salesmen, or maybe you're more like me and the stereotype that popped in your head is more librarian sitting in a desk somewhere? Well, today I'm joined by Jenny Roth, an amazing copywriter, and as we pull back the curtain on what it takes to make it as a copywriter. The full interview can be found inside the Money Magnifier Toolkit, but this was simply too good not to share. So here's an inside peek. Jenny Roth is an email and sales page copywriter for creative CEOs and coaches. She specializes in joyful, strategic copy that generates leads and welcomes your clients with open arms. Her mission is uncovering words that will resonate most with your clients so that you can have higher converting, fun to read copy without spending hours upon hours at your keyboard to make it happen. Jenny started her copywriting business back in 2014, working very part-time when her 3 daughters were small, to going full-time now that her kids are all in school. When she isn't writing, you can find her hanging out with her husband and three daughters in beautiful, windy South Dakota, where they love to camp, swim in the Missouri River, raise chickens, and ride bikes. This is the Your Money, Your Life podcast, where ambitious women come together to have clarity, prosperity, and confidence with their money without sacrificing precious time and well-deserved fun. So let's do this. Hi, Jenny. Welcome to the Money Magnifier Toolkit. I'm really freaking excited to be doing this with you. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm really, really excited to talk with you. You and I have been in groups together before, but I don't know if we've ever gotten to just sit down and talk. So it's a treat for me to be here, for real.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was telling somebody earlier, like, okay, like this is who this is. I'm really excited about this conversation, but I don't think that we've done anything one-on-one yet. So I always like to start out, especially with the podcast, it's called Your Money, Your Life. So what does your money, your life mean to you?
I think it's evolved for me over the years. I mean, really, for me, money is always, though, tied to freedom. Just having the freedom to, like, I remember when I started my business when my kids were little, and we can talk about that later, but I just wanted to have $200 extra a month. So I have 3 girls. I just wanted to have that money. They were all in dance at this time. And not the cheapest thing your kids could be.
No.
I didn't know that. And so that I just remember just thinking, oh, if I could just have $200 more a month, I would be free to put these kids in dance without having to like cut the grocery budget or something like that. And so money to me, I mean, as cliche as it sounds, is freedom to not have to worry like that the ball is always going to drop somewhere. To not have to worry that you can't do a wonderful opportunity that comes up, for your life or your family. So to me, money is really tied with freedom.
And I love that. So how did you get started? Did you actually start in the copywriting industry when you started your home business? And why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm a copywriter today for mostly coaches and online service providers in like the creative space. So photographers, designers, that kind of thing. And when I started, this was back in 2014, I had 3 little girls, and we had them in 4 years. We look back and we're like, what was going on? So we had these little girls, and I was a stay-at-home mom to them. That was my main, role. My husband's a farmer, and so it was kind of like he has really busy seasons, and we wanted at least, one parent to be available for them, as much as possible. And I was so excited to do that. And so I started, when everyone was sleeping through the night and everyone was taking a nap, I started to have, like, as you know, Aimee, like these pockets in your day where you kind of think, okay, what am I going to do with this hour or two of my life? Instead of like, I remember cleaning my house, like scrolling Facebook and like that. And then everyone would wake up from their nap and I'd feel like I just didn't do with that time I had something really meaningful that made a difference in my life and that could help other people. And so I literally made a list, like, what do I like to do? And I couldn't remember, like, outside of motherhood. And so at the top of that list was writing. I had went to school for Spanish and English and anthropology, which is the study of people. I'd always loved to write for school. And so I thought, maybe I could do that from home. So I reached out and pitched to local magazines to my area, became a writer for a community magazine, and then the editor for that magazine. And then once I was doing that, people would message me and say things like, "Oh, you write? I have this blog. I hate writing it. Would you do that for me? Or I have this website and I don't know what to say. Can you do that?" And I was like, sure. Like, I knew enough about writing to be dangerous. But I didn't know, that this was copywriting. And so I started to figure this out and take classes and get certified as a copywriter and different things. And I just loved it. And it's just snowballed to now where it's what I do full time. My oldest girl is 13. My youngest is 9. And so they're all in school. I have more time in my day. And so I just feel like I'm in this season now where, I'm pouring a lot into my business.
I love it. And I'm definitely with you on the whole when they're sleeping through the night. I started before that, but I remember being pregnant because it was my third, and I would be up like late at night building my website before she was born, because I was like, okay, let me work on building my website because everybody's sleeping. So I love how that evolved for you. It was something that you were passionate about, because so many mothers, we do forget what we enjoyed to do. I think sometimes it changes as well, but we forget what we enjoyed to do before motherhood because it takes up so much of our life. So even that little nugget there about going back to what you enjoyed, that was really key. So I hope everybody caught that. I guess, is there a certain level of time commitment that you feel that somebody needs to be able to commit to being a copywriter to really be successful? Maybe, I guess, on a weekly basis, time that they would need to have available?
Yeah, I definitely think if you are all in on this or anything, that yes, it's going to take time on your schedule every week. So, I mean, I don't think it's something you have to jump in and feel like you need 15, 10, or 20 hours a week to dedicate to. If you don't have that time, if you still have, if your kids are your main priority, your family, or your 9 to 5, any of those things, literally, I still do this. So my business is my full-time job. And then I have evenings during the week. Like I talked about being a nerd with my calendar. I have 3 to 4 evenings a week when my kids and my family are watching Wheel of Fortune and whatever they watch in the evenings for an hour, where I am doing my own education in copywriting. So I'm still doing that. And I really think just a couple hours a week is really all you need. And obviously, if you put more into it, the faster, just like anything, the faster it will grow. But I don't feel like you have to jump into it and think you have to know everything or be great at writing copy for every medium. You can definitely start small and start with whatever time's available to you.
I love that. And I think I was listening to a training that was done on a Friday evening, and he was like, we know y'all don't have any life because you're here on a Friday night, but really we nerd out over this stuff. And then especially when it's something that you're passionate about and you enjoy doing it, it's not necessarily as much of there's never going to be 100% of we love everything in our business. Obviously, we're going to work towards outsourcing and having other people handle the stuff that we don't love. But I do think that we enjoy it more. And I think you nailed it there. That consistency is probably more important than having a ton of hours to commit to it. And I've also found when you have less time, often we can get done the same amount because you feel that pressure on yourself to get done those things. So any personality traits that you feel would be helpful to make it, or ones that would be and that wouldn't do so well?
Yeah, I love this question. And kind of what you were saying just before you asked made me think of this too. It's I feel like the only thing to be a copywriter that you would really need is just that love for writing and that creative process of writing. And just, if you love that for a hobby, or you've always been told you're good at that, or it's just something that comes you have a knack for writing the written word, I think that is it. There's so many different ways, that you can earn money being a copywriter. So you could build your own freelance business, yes, but there's also plenty of companies. If just do a LinkedIn search, there's plenty of companies who are looking to hire copywriters on a full-time, part-time contract basis, and you can do that from home remotely. So and with that, you wouldn't have to forward face clients if you're more introverted and don't want to get on the call. On the other hand, I know plenty of copywriters who do like VIP days where they're like on the phone with the client, writing in real time. They're very like, that's their personality. So you can put whatever spin on it that you want to. Whatever personality you have. Definitely a love for writing, a knack for writing. And if you're going to go the freelance route, building your own thing, not working for a company, you're going to have to reach out to people, right? You're going to have to put yourself out there. You're going to have to partner with designers and marketing agencies. And, if you write emails, funnel strategists, like you're going to have to partner with people and put yourself out there and reach out to people. So that's something to think about too. And that doesn't mean you have to do like a live, TikTok or whatever, but you are going to have to, talk to people. So yeah, I think that's it though.
I think most everybody who said, I'm not doing a TikTok or I'm not doing a reel like that I know has ended up doing a TikTok or a reel. And that's why I laugh, because there were so many of us that were like, I'm not doing that. And then we've all kind of slowly jumped on the bandwagon.
I know.
So this series is geared around increasing your income or increasing our income. So if someone's watching this and maybe is already a copywriter, do you have any suggestions on like quick cash infusions that would work really well for your business? Things that you love to do, or just things that you've seen work very well?
Yeah, so if you're listening or watching this and you are already a copywriter, some things that have really helped me to infuse more cash into my business have been, one, have an application on your website that lists your prices, so that when somebody applies to work with you, they can clearly see that what your packages, what your prices are right up front. And I even have a note on my contact form application that says, are you prepared to pay a 33% deposit should we decide to move forward on this call? And they would know that amount when we get on the call. So that, I know that's not like a quick cash injection, but it has made such a difference for me in getting on the phone with people who are ready to work with me. And along with that has come, one other thing I can't recommend enough is to pick one of your copywriting offers and make that experience like so solid for your clients. So after they book a discovery call with you, send them a package and a brochure, like a virtual like pricing guide and package brochure. Like let them know you got, I do this all through email. You can do it however you want, but just let them know you got their application. You're looking forward to talking with them. Send reminders for their calls, right? After they book with you, like just be so on top of that client communication and education and care. I think it will just make that experience in charging those higher prices just an easy yes for people, and an easy yes for you to refer. Another thing I've done in my business to help boost cash is have a referral program. So, and this can be for people who've worked with you before or just people in your circle. So if you refer me to anybody and they book with me, I give you $100 cash in PayPal. That's like basically how my business survives without social media, because it just works so great for me. It's just such a no-brainer, like for them, and it just works for me to get referrals from people I trust. So have a referral program, have the application on your website. Trying to think of what else. And just hold the belief in your offer. To make a really incredible client experience, you've got to believe in what you're providing and create that. And I think those are the best ways that I've made cash injections, along with collaborations, right? Reach out to designers, like I said, marketing agencies, funnel strategists, anybody who might also work with people who need copywriters. Reach out to them, do collaborations to build your own community, your own email list. Yeah, I hope those were helpful.
That was very helpful. And definitely the listing the prices on your website. I'm glad that you said that, because there's definitely two schools of thought out there, like on list them and don't list them. And I think if they're not listed and people don't know what to expect going in, you're right. You're going to get people who aren't prepared. And you're also going to have people who won't even apply because they don't feel like they're qualified to be able to work with you. And they might have a different price point in their head of what the obligation would be. And if you have that listed on there, I think it's a no-brainer because our time is valuable still as well. So I love that. The collaborations and the referral. It's a lot of how most financial coaches build their businesses as well, is like the social. I like being on Instagram and like I have a LinkedIn strategy and stuff, but a lot of the other stuff is done through collaborations, just like you said, and referrals. And I think that's all super valuable to be able to work on those skills and have that and hear that it works. Let's see. Okay. So you mentioned your calendar and you're spending the hour to really time block. Is there anything else that you've found very helpful when it comes to working from home or really just staying organized and juggling all the hats that you're juggling?
Yeah. I mean, that calendar time blocking thing has been my saving grace. That's helped me the most. Other things, just other than that, I know your listeners have heard this before, but ask for help. So many times I have put the whole world on my shoulders when my husband or my mom or my kids are like so available to help me with things, whether that's watching the kids or housework or making dinner, ordering dinner out one night. So often I run around my house thinking like I'm doing it all and I have to do it all. And, the world's on my shoulders when really I have plenty of people who love me. And if I need to do something on a Saturday because I'm behind for a couple hours, it would be no problem to them to help me. And so just getting over that for me has been huge, and really keeping my calendar and really, I keep my phone in another room for me if I don't want to be on it all the time. That's huge for me. I know that's huge for a lot of people. That's a huge distraction. And I mean, I think that's really it, though. Those three things are really helping.
Do not disturb is your friend when it comes to your phone.
Yes.
Is there any mistakes that you would want somebody to, I know we kind of touched on this with like a starting out copywriter, on not spending time with all of the, I guess we can call them forward facing pretty stuff and really just getting into action. Is there anything that we missed, or do you feel like that part really kind of covered it?
Yeah, I think we covered it. I mean, really just putting yourself out there and starting to pitch or reach out to people who you can help and who you think might connect you to people you can help. If you're going to find your very first client, so often we spin out and trying to build a website, and then we like spin out and trying to build an Instagram page, and none of those things matter. You'll get clients and you'll get money coming in the door, and then you can do those things. But you've got to find clients first to have a business. Like you were talking about collaborations with your first virtual assistant. That's what I did. Like when I was ready for like a beautiful website, I partnered with a designer. I wrote her website and she designed mine. So all of those things are available to you, but they are not required. Even if I think it's beneficial to have a portfolio as a copywriter. So if you haven't had a client yet, there's plenty of programs. One I took was called Filthy Rich Writer. That was one of the very first copywriting education courses I took, and I think it's $497 for lifetime access. And inside that program, you will build a mock portfolio. She'll give you mock clients. So there's ways to build your portfolio, but it doesn't have to be fancy on a website. It can be in a Google Doc that you email people. So just reaching out and finding those first clients, that's the first thing.
Is there any misconceptions that you hear about the industry in general that, like, if somebody was kind of on the fence, you're like, okay, that's not really how this works?
Oh man, I think one misconception people maybe think, maybe not anymore, when they hear copywriting is that you're like this sleazy salesperson like in a cave who like thinks of ways to get people to buy stuff they don't need. But that's not it at all. Copywriting is really just connecting businesses with clients who need what they have to offer. So your client, when you're a copywriter, your client is going to have an offer, and it's your job to figure out the messaging and the words around that are going to speak to people who need that. So when people see that offer, they're like, what? That's me. So that's really what copywriting is. It's listening. It's being very empathetic to what people need and what businesses are hearing, hearing from their clients what they need, and then weaving that into words. So that might be one misconception. That's one I had right away when I started.
I can see that. I don't know that I thought that, but I probably thought more like librarian sitting in a corner type thing. But you kind of nailed that you can be introverted or extroverted and still be successful as a copywriter already. Is there anything that I haven't asked or that we haven't talked about that everyone kind of needs to know the answer to?
Gosh, I don't think so. This has been so great. And just that if you, like we talked about, if you have that knack for writing that true interest in someone's story, right? Like if you walk into a shop in your neighborhood and you find out the story of the owner and how they've had this store for 25 years and everything, that they built to create this business, and that story just like, you just love that so much in the heart of small business and storytelling and writing, then definitely copywriting could be for you.
I love it. And I believe you have a free gift for our listeners. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I have a free email sequence masterclass. So if you're somebody who is doing email marketing for, your business, this class teaches you, it's 15 minutes long, and it walks you through exactly how to set up a welcome sequence, which is just an automated series of emails that goes out to somebody when they opt into your list. So to kind of nurture that relationship and hopefully lead to the sale.
I love it. And I love that it's only 15 minutes because we can work on that in cracks of time. Where can our listeners find you online? If just because A, you're an awesome person, and B, you're an awesome copywriter. So
thank you, Aimee. Yeah, I'm at Jenny Roth copywriting.com. And that's where I'm at on Instagram too, is at Jenny Roth Copywriting.
Awesome. And I will make sure that I include all the links below. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. And of course, if you're listening, you have questions, make sure to connect with either one of us. Ask them below if you're watching inside the toolkit, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Aimee.